Hey guys, welcome back to Alberic Gaming. Apologies for the delay in uploads. I had finals for my classes 2 weeks ago, and it just got super hectic, and I didn't get a chance to get anything up on here. So hopefully going forward, I won't have any more breaks, and I will have a consistent at least one per week upload. Now with that said, let's talk Hu Tao. So what do we have here? Well, I have got my Hu Tao at 80 out of 90. Which is where I'm going to leave her. I don't plan to take her to 90. We're looking at a 52.8% crit rate and a 156.5% crit damage. Now, I normally like to do double my crit rate for my crit damage, so you know, we're at 50 here. We should be generally about 100, or if we're at 60, maybe 120. So the crit damage is a little bit high, but it's not so high that it's really making me alarmed. 137.6 energy recharge and 61.6% pyro damage bonus. We have a Staff of Homa at R2 and our artifacts. Let's talk about those. I have a flower with crit rate, attack percent, and HP percent, which is a pretty good roll. I'm happy with this flower. Our plume, HP percent and defense percent. Okay, I'll take the HP percent, but I don't want the defense percent. I would rather have crit, or maybe attack, or a higher HP percent. So we have our HP sands with crit rate and a plus HP, but it is not HP percent. I'm not super happy with this either. I mean, we've got the HP sands that we want, but I would rather have something with HP percent in addition to our crit. Pyro damage bonus goblet with HP percent and attack percent, along with our energy recharge percent. I'm happy with this. I'll take that for now. And our hat has crit damage percent, defense percent, and energy recharge percent. So again, could be better, but I think these are relatively decent artifacts for what we have right now. Our constellation is at 1, which is great for Hu Tao because of this. While in Paramita Papilio, or E, state, Hu Tao's charge attacks do not consume stamina. Let's come back to that in just a minute. In the meantime, while we're looking at Constellation, let's skip over to Zhongling. And this is why she is in our team and not Bennett. Opponents hit by Guoba's attacks have their pyro res reduced by 15% for 6 seconds. For the duration of Pyronado, all party members receive a 15% pyro damage bonus. So what does this mean for us? It means that Zhongling has effectively 15% pyro damage bonus and 15% pyro res reduction for this brief period of time. 6 seconds. Why 6 seconds? Well, condensed Pyronado, I think off the top of my head, I think it lasts for 10 seconds, right? So we have 16% or 15% reduction plus 15% damage bonus for that 6 seconds that they're both active. And that's what I like about her. Now, Bennett is not ideal, unless, from what I understand from Theory Crafters, you have him with over 1,000 attack. Otherwise, his Q does less damage than what Hu Tao would do with her under 0.5% or half health bonus. Our talents are at 9, 8, and 6, which we are currently stuck at. We need better child rolls, and honestly I haven't decided yet if I'm going to crown her, so I think my next move is getting our Guide to Afterlife up to 9 and then moving Spirit Soother perhaps up to 8, but again, we need better child rolls. So that's what we're looking at, guys. Roughly it's a C1 Hu Tao with okay artifacts and a fairly decent weapon with an R2 Homa. Again, our team is, I think, pretty good. Xingqiu for Vaporize, Zhongling because she allows us to have the pyro damage reduction plus the pyro damage bonus with Pyronado, and then Sucrose for Elemental Mastery stuff. So let's take a look here at how this is going to work. We're going to go up to this Ruin Guard and we're just going to have some fun. The idea is I'm going to throw down Guoba, I am going to pop the Pyronado, I am going to use Xingqiu's E, and then I am just going to go to town with Hu Tao. Pretty easy to dodge those rockets when you're out of distance like that.
Boba, get them! Rain outlines your...
Okay, so that went relatively fast. Now, what did we do there? So, from what I have understood from reading Theory Crafters, is that a really decent combo for Hu Tao is N1C, or normal attack 1, charge attack, with a dash cancel if you are at C1 or higher. So, let's look at her charge attack here real quick. Do you see her right leg? How it lingers up in the air a little bit. Now watch this. So do you see how that dash canceled out that animation? Let's look at the other side here. So the right leg lingers versus it doesn't linger, right? So the idea, we'll do this a little bit slower without an enemy out, is we drop the Guoba to get the 15% reduction in Pyro for 6 seconds. We have Xingqiu, who we can use to get our Vaporize and also our Rain Swords going to provide us some damage reduction. And then Hu Tao with her E to do specifically, remember, we want to do just one attack. We have our charge, and we have our dash to cancel it. One attack, a charge attack, and a dash to cancel it. Now, one thing I have not figured out, and I'm just kind of going from what seems like common sense to me, is if N1C means specifically one attack, then the charge, then the dash, or just holding the charge, which does an attack in and of itself, and then the dash. Because look at that, right there, right? One attack, charge. One attack, charge. Just holding the charge does that attack. So I have just been playing Hu Tao like that, just like charge with the one attack before it into the dash. That's how I've been playing her. I'm not sure if that's exactly what an N1C is, but either way, I've been having a lot of fun with it, and the damage has been perfectly fine for me. So let's take a look now. While we're deployed on the field with Xiangling, we have our Pyro Resonance. So we are currently at 1600 attack. Drop our E, go below 50% health, and we are now up to 4,000. Why is that? Well, let's look at Homa. HP increased by 25% because we're R2. Additionally, provides an attack bonus based on 1% of the wielder's max HP. When the wielder's HP is less than 50% attack, 50% health, this attack bonus is increased by an additional 1.2% rank 2 of max HP. So that is why she does such big numbers. So when you're under half health, you just go up a crazy amount. Like we went up 1,400 right there. We went from 1,600 to 4,000, and that's nuts. That is the highest attack I have on any character. But she comes with, as Jinx would say from Jinx and Tuner, she comes with a lot of caveats. And one of those caveats is if you do not have Hu Tao at C1, you need to learn how to jump cancel. And I am not going to tell you how to jump cancel because I have not learned how to do Hu Tao's jump cancel. I don't need to because I have her at C1, so I just do the dash cancel, and it works for me. And I'm not exactly the most high-skilled player in the game, so perhaps the skill ceiling of my Hu Tao is lower than a better player's, but the way I'm playing her, I think, is a fairly decent way to play, and I have been enjoying the damage output as is. Now, I'd like to talk about one other group composition, and to do that, I need to hop over to my other account, so bear with me for just a moment. Okay, so we are on the other account. In this account, I am at AR 49, so I am a little bit stuck on Hu Tao because I can't ascend her beyond 80. As you can see, we are stuck behind 50, and similarly, I cannot take her Homa above 80 out of 80. You'll also note this Homa is an R1. She is C1 here. Her talents are 8, 7, and 6, so a little bit lower. We are gated, again, behind phase 6. And the artifact selection is a little bit worse. You can see we have a 4-star Pyro Cup, and you'll just have to take my word that the other artifacts are not quite as good with their substats. So, what is this team? Well, this is a team that I think is really fun to play, but I can't do it on my other account because I only have Zhongli on this account. And that is using Zhongli to toss down his pillar, which gives us a shield, Albedo to toss down his flower, which gives us some AoE damage, and that is an area where Hu Tao is a bit lacking. We have Xiangling for the same reason we had her on the other team comp, which is to throw down Guoba to get that resistance reduced. And she also has C6 here, so the Pyronado thing applies as well. And then we have Hu Tao. So with Hu Tao's E, we're at 3,400 attack. So we are a little bit lower than what we were before. You know, our home is not quite as good, and on top of that, we're not the same level as we were in the other account. But our team composition is a bit different. Let's talk about that. So we have Fervent Flames from the 2 Pyro units, which gives us the increase to attack by 25%. And we have Enduring Rock from the 2 Geo units, which gives us an increase to shield strength by 15%. And then additionally, characters protected by a shield will have the following characteristics. Damage dealt increased by 15%, and dealing damage to enemies will decrease their Geo res by 20% for 15 seconds. So the Pyro resistance doesn't really... or the cryo resistance from Fervent Flames isn't something I really care about. The increase to attack is. I like the 25% attack increase. I like the increased shield strength. And I like the damage dealing being increased by 15% in addition to the Geo res. Why the Geo res? Well, we have a Pyro unit, right? But we also have 2 Geo units. So, Zhongli provides us with our shield, which we can now toss over to Hu Tao for that shielded bonus to damage. And now let's say that Hu Tao has gone into her E, and our E is on cooldown, or she's dead, or she's really low HP, and we need to boost back, or bounce back to Zhongli to get another shield back. So we're on Zhongli. If we acquired our shield, now let's say in this hypothetical that our Q is ready to go, we drop that Q. We've already done some damage to enemies, so we have that Geo damage increase from the resistance decrease. Or
moment of birth.
Toss out Albedo's Q for that same Geo res decrease. Which is great, because my Zhongli was, until I got Hu Tao, my main DPS on this account. So he's still built like a DPS, and I think I'm kind of going to keep him like that, because I like the idea of having him as an off DPS. Why is that? Well, let's get into a situation. And let's do a situation here that is less than ideal for us, which is to say we have full health, so we're not getting home as benefit. And we're also going to dash off of a cliff, because that is how you do. I'm just going to pop up here and see if these Geovisips are alive or not. Okay, so we're going to come in here and fight these two, and the idea is going to be roughly what we said. We're going to use Zhongli for his shield. We're going to use Zhongli for his pillar, which resonates with Albedo's flower, giving us our AoE. We're going to use Xiangling for Guoba to reduce pyro resistance on these two guys. We'll use Hu Tao's E to give us our damage increase, and when needed, I might switch over to Zhongli as a off DPS. So let's go.
Stabilize. Burst forth.
Okay, so you see right here I've got that 5-second downtime. Now, he is already deceased, but if he wasn't, that would have been a great time to swap over to Zhongli. Just do a little bit of physical DPS, maybe refresh our shield, and if his Q is up, maybe throw that down to get our advantage from the Geo resistance reduction. That would have been a great way for this to go. So let's see if we can do it here. You can see Hu Tao is with her dash a little bit hard to aim at times. And we're also, you know, out of our E. because he just, this bishop just moves all over, so we can use Zhongli a little bit as our physical DPS in between. We've got our Q back up, and we also had the benefit of Zhongli taking out that Core Lapis for us. So, you know, you got one of the best people for picking up minerals in the game right after you're done fighting. So, where does that put us? Well, I think Hu Tao is a good unit to pull for, but as I always say, I only think people are worth pulling for on two conditions, which is one, you have the funds to do so, the disposable funds, that is. It doesn't matter if you have funding, but you have to be able to justify spending it on a game. And then the second one is you should like the character that you're trying to play. So we can check out events. We can go to test run, and we have a trial. This is what you should do anytime you want to try a character. I don't care how hyped they are by YouTube. Come in here. First of all, take a look at what you're looking at, right? So your trial character is 80 out of 80 with an 80 out of 80 Homa. 4-piece Crimson Rich set. No Constellation. And talents are 888. So unless you're pulling for Homa, and unless you happen to have or want to farm for Crimson Witch set, your Hu Tao will probably not be as great as this Hu Tao. And look at this. Just a bunch of Pyro Slimes. Super easy trial. Not a whole lot of work needs to be done to really clear it. But that's not what matters here. What matters here is that you have a chance to play as the character that you're thinking about getting. So, we can get just completely out of this. We don't need to finish the trial. The idea is that, let's say another character comes out who you really like. We know that Rosaria will be coming out soon. We know that Venti will be coming out soon. So, you have a trial. Play as them before you decide to roll for them. If you like them, and if you have the funds to do so, then you should consider pulling. But only if those two conditions are met. You might not like how Hu Tao plays. It doesn't matter if I think Hu Tao is fun if you don't like this kind of playstyle. You know, it doesn't matter if other YouTube people think that this character is great if you don't like her playstyle. So that is one of the most important things that you should consider when you're considering pulling. So, let's talk about the team compositions just a little bit. I like both of these comps that I'm using pretty equally for different reasons. I like the Vaporize reaction that I get from Jingqiu, but on this account I can't have 5 people on the field at once. And I do like a support core of Zhongli and Albedo, because this and this provide me just a nice off-field AoE from those two guys while I'm on Hu Tao or while I'm on Xiangling doing what I'm doing. I like the global resistance. I like going in here, just that is so fun for me, having these two constructs on the field and just plowing through everybody with Hu Tao. Alternatively, on the other account, I still like that playstyle too. I like being able to use Xingqiu, I like his rain swords, I really like his ultimate, and I like being able to vaporize and just plow through people. I do miss Zhongli's shield, but I just don't have him on that account. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but these are the two team compositions that I've been playing around with and enjoying, and I have been having a lot of fun with Hu Tao. I think on my main account, my main team will still be my Zhao team with Triple Animo, because I really enjoy playing that on the overworld, as well as just clearing through whatever domain I need to farm. But Hu Tao is a great secondary team for me, and I have done well with her and Xiao in Abyss. So, thanks guys for tuning in, and I will try to do my next video on my thoughts about Venti and Child, since those are the next two banner 5 stars coming back. Until next time guys, it's been Alberic.